What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I'm glad that you could join me this evening. I am your host, Ed Honcho. You can be anywhere in the world. And tonight, you're kicking it with the wonderful folks in the den. I hope you guys are all doing well, man. Let me be honest. I'm trying to get away from that old pre, not it's like pre-written, but like similar opening. I know people say you should do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to introduce the way I feel, right? That's what we're going to do. So how y'all doing this evening, right? I hope everybody's good. Because like I said, honestly, it's like the den is, I don't want to do show-like shit, right? This is a community. That's what it's about. So I don't really know this fucking weird stuff. I guess some stuff has to be that way, but let me pause that. Anyway, let's get into it. Tonight we're going to talk about the reality of racism. And I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation because right now, all you see is Rona and racism. If it ain't about the Rona, it's about somebody being racist, right? But not quite. So we're going to get all the way into that. I'm going to share my thoughts too on what I think is the problem and what can be done to improve race relations. So again, let's see who we got joining us this evening. Let's get into it. Let's get into some great conversation. And again, I hope you all are doing well. Mr. Coach, how you doing this evening? The Don of the Discord, the Lady Grace, Miss Grace in the building. How are you doing this evening? Ma'am, let me see. What is that? Oh, give me a crazy warning. Let me see. Miss Bell, hope all is well. How are you doing this evening, ma'am? The Reform Pimp, Mr. Infinity, how are you doing this evening? Sir, what's the motherfucking deal? Shonda Tony, ma'am, how are you doing this evening? I hope all is well. What's the motherfucking deal? Footballer 503, how you doing this evening? 335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Hello, Mr. Calhoun. Hello, Mr. Calhoun. AB, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Man Cave, what's the motherfucking deal? And Marie Lovely, the lovely Miss Marie, how are you doing this evening, ma'am? There's sometimes the things that are said in the chat are just they're very humorous. That's why I try to stay away, right? That's why I can't be in the chat because it's dangerous. But again, like I said, I hope all of y'all are doing well. I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening. Let's talk about it, right? Racism, the R word. It's a powerful word. Well, it used to be a powerful word. I don't think it is as much anymore because it just gets thrown all over the place. You know what I mean? Strong and grand. What's the motherfucking deal? And John, my favorite New Yorker, what's the motherfucking deal?
One sure-proof way to improve race relations? Bring back segregation. If you're not living with each other and have your own economies, no issue.
It's a very interesting point. Very interesting point. I think even if you, especially at this point, even if you did segregate, people really, stayed true to it, it would be, boy, I think it would be really hard to do that these days. But I think people would actually see that, scum is scum, and the cream rise to the top, and would realize that it's a people problem more so than a race problem. But right now, everybody views everything as a race problem. Everybody's a racist. Everything is racially based. Just had an incident that I've been seeing kind of going all over the place, and it's very interesting. Now, I haven't, like I told you, I like kind of I guess, who knows when the middle of the Rona is, right? Because we're still like in the shit. So it would have to be over with before you could determine when the middle is. But earlier on, a couple of months ago, like I said, I stopped just kind of watching any of the mainstream news. It was just getting, like at first I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this comparative thing and see who's saying what and how they're covering it. And now it's just got to the point where I'm so tired of hearing about the fucking wrong. I'm not watching any of the shit. And so they're saying there's a story is not actually being put out there. But there was a black man. I can't remember his fucking name. It's like a fucking, I don't know. I don't know what he looks like. But apparently went and shot his neighbor, a small 5-year-old white child, a white boy. And now it's interesting, right? Because it is interesting. And I say, well, whether you feel however you feel about anything, because this is going to be the point that I'm going to get to, that this is not being covered. I mean, that's something that should be talked about in every other instance. When you're talking about killing children or something happening to children, usually those kind of stories, um, I mean, they get a lot of press. Aside from, I guess, some of these kind of open and shut things, sometimes it's, when there's that little bit of suspicion, well, what happened here, what happened, those things happen. But, it's interesting if it's not getting that kind of press, it's not getting that kind of thing. Um, but the way that the story is even being put out there, where you are finding it, is very interesting too. Um, and I'm saying all of this, and again, you go look at it for yourself, and you can make your own determinations. But I'm saying all of this to say that the real or the reality of racism in America today is it's still here in a form, but it's nothing like it was. Racism's not here in an instance to where it's preventing anybody from doing anything. When people want to talk about systemic or all that other stuff, I mean, it's a matter of opinion in a lot of cases that people bring up a lot of these things. But it's the media that is making racism bigger than it really is. Cannon hint it. Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. And and it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and say no, we're racism free, we're 100% cured. No, get the fuck out of here. It's like, no, we know that, right? But again, like, in my opinion, to be black in America or whatever race in America, and to wake up every single day and be fucking worried about your skin or how somebody may think about you, like, it's too much going on, too much opportunity, too many network, too many. I mean, it's just too much going on for that to be like the biggest fucking problem you're facing. And I'm not necessarily here to talk about like what I think I can do to fix and end it all. But like I say, to advance race relations in this country as individuals, I think maybe we need to find alternative medias. Because honestly, there's no unbiased media. Every media has some way that they're leaning. And I understand it because you want to attract a particular base of people. And in reality, being completely neutral like almost doesn't work either, because people sit here and say, oh, you're not saying this, you're not saying that. And if somebody would come out and be completely, they'd still complain because they're not hearing it the way they want to hear it. Like, I don't even think people really truly want, like, I wish there was like an unbiased source. I'm sure there may be somewhere low level, but I don't think people really even want that. I think people want to be told what they should feel and what they should think. Like, I don't think the majority of Americans would truly, honestly be able to process, like, I guess the way to word, like, just pure news. And what I'm saying is just only the facts, no opinions, just pure information, right? This happened, this is what took place, or this is who we're looking for, or this is what's going on. And then allow people to take that information and utilize it for themselves. Like, it's not it's like it's. I don't think that Americans can handle it. Like we need, again, like I said, we need to associate with something, right? Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you, that's my thing too. Like, and again, that's what I say. I don't think you'll never get rid of it. I mean, it's human nature to target differences. Like, think about even in your group of friends, like people you fuck with and actually like. When you fuck with each other, what is it that you're gonna pick on the thing that's different about somebody, from everybody else. That's just how it works. Now, when you're talking about racism or other isms, you have malice and ill intent to go along with that. That's the only difference. So you're not going to be just making cracking jokes about it. You're looking at, you're going to use that thing as a driving force of hate, anger, or whatever you want to call it. So that's the only difference. Like, so I don't think that it'll ever go away. Like, it'll never, until we all turn into fucking, well, not we, until the future turns into all, fucking tan people. Like, and people, I guarantee you, this is what's going to happen, right? In the future, everybody's going to, like, pretty much be this neutral fucking beige weird color. Everybody's gonna look the same, but it is gonna be like beef over the shades of beige, right? It's gonna get that deep. It's gonna get real weird. Like, people are still gonna find a way to fucking be mad. All the borders are gonna be open. Everybody's gonna fucking look the same. Everybody's gonna do all the same shit, and people still find ways to fucking beef with each other. Like, it's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Hey, Giovanni Rodriguez, what's the motherfucking deal? Welcome. I apologize, I didn't see that in the under the link under the thing. And again, I have been informed also that occasionally there are some folks who just watch the show and would be interested in participating, but they may feel a little nervous, joining in the group. Look, the Den folk, had this been a couple of months ago, I'd say, hey, it's a little dangerous. But now all the Den folk have gotten super solid. God, what the hell is that? I don't know what I did, man. Like, somewhere between 5 o'clock and now, like, fuck something up. And it fucking hurts. But if you're just listening, you want to share your thoughts, you want to share your views, the Den is a welcoming place. It is encouraged. Like, all opinions are welcome, whether you agree, you disagree. If anybody's giving you a hard time, fuck them. But, you may want to be able to defend your own, because people will test your opinions. But don't be afraid to participate in the conversation. Everybody is welcome. Bad and bougie. Everybody except for you. But welcome. I'm just joking. I'm just giving you a hard time. But like I said, there's always going to be beef. Like, people are going to find ways that there are differences to highlight those differences and make it seem like a thing. Let's, like, really be realistic. We're all fucking people, right? And that's just really it. That's why, when somebody sits here and gets to harping on skin color and this, it's like, I'm not going to get mad, because I actually feel sorry for those people. Like, if you think it's somebody's skin color that is the issue, well, that's up to you. You're fine to have that ignorance. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with pointing out correlations across groups, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I need a whole new back. I just need a new back. I need doctor say I need a backiotomy. Whoever knows where that came from. 1,000 pistachios. That should be an easy one. But, like I say, it's like, so, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But the thing is that people get mad and they get upset and they take these things personal, especially when, somebody's saying something about your race, because then you automatically, envision yourself in that thing. And I don't do that. Like, it's hard to, like, for me to get really upset about some shit I can't fucking control, right? Like, I didn't have a say-so before I arrived. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll with this shit, and we just gonna make it do it. We're not gonna get pissed off about dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, I'm not gonna get mad at somebody else's ignorance. If I know this shit does not apply to me. Why would I get mad about it? And even if some of the shit does apply to me, and I enjoy doing it or whatever it may, I don't give a shit. Like, that's part of I think that's the biggest part of the problem. Everybody's fucking seeking some type of validation, right? And stop giving a fuck, right? People got to stop giving a fuck what other people think. If a motherfucker wants to be racist, fuck it, let them. Who gives a fuck, right? How does that impact me? Unless it's some type of business situation, I don't give a shit. It's just we're just in this situation where we focus so much on these trivial distractions. And I was talking about this. I think I might have been talking about more in the Discord the other day. Make sure you're part of the Den Discord. Make sure you come and join. Even if you just want to listen in the voice chat or just whatever it may be. Everybody's welcome in the Den Discord also. But I was talking about this the other day, right? And it's just like, we know that everything's kind of headed downhill, right? I mean, it's just we're in this situation, and the distractions, it seems like they're more and more every fucking day. And you kind of wonder why, because like we're in a day and age where like information is so accessible. Like you have all the information in the world that you need to be great at your fingertips. Like I don't know if people really realize it, but they keep feeding us these distractions. We keep getting caught up by this shit. And to me, I think it's like a huge hindrance on society. Like I think we could be, I don't know. Like, I don't know, because we're not going down that path. We're going down the path where, we bite for all the distractions. We're fighting amongst each other about dumb shit, like still stuck on things, in the past. But again, like I say, the opportunities to right the ship yourself are there if you seek them. And it's just like, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's just hard for me to get mad about stuff that is it's out of your control. Now, if it's under your control and you make a bad decision, that's something you work on. But I don't know. I mean, it's crazy that, thousands of shit, depending on what you believe, millions of years, maybe the fucking bacteria in the, what did that shit used to be called? Not the lava. They call it like primordial soup or some shit. It's probably beefing with the other bacteria that didn't look like it and shit. Like, I don't know. But it's just like, even if you are a person who has these feelings or whatever, again, I'm stopping ranting. Let me open up the line here. You'll do yourself a big favor if you change the way you think about it. And again, like I say all these things being a person who used to have particular views that didn't align with the views that I have now. I looked at things much more racially based. This is the reason, this is why, this is this. And it's like, I look at my life and how I had experiences then, and honestly, I wish I'd have thought so much differently earlier. But it is what it is. Some people never figure it out. And then how I live now. And it's just, you hinder yourself being concerned with that shit. Again, nothing wrong with acknowledging correlations across groups. But again, don't be so caught up in the bullshit that, like I say, I don't know. I don't think about the type of shit until it's brought up, until it's a situation, the media. But what I was saying about that article with the guy who shot the child, Cannon Hennett, notice the wording that they use if you go look at articles. If it was cop shoots black man, it's white cop, guns down, black man, unarmed, all of these things. But you look at those articles, it's, of how old neighbor shoots neighbor boy 5 years old. Like the terms that they pick and choose, you know what I'm saying? The media controls the outrage. And if you're uninformed, you fall for the outrage. And that's part of the problem. A lot of us are uninformed. And again, this is across all platforms. I'm not pointing at any particular side. Motherfucker. There's a lot of very uninformed people out there. And you have all these people who are educated, they're smart, they know how to, you know, stimulate certain emotions and shit like that. You know, I mean, wording is powerful. I talk about that from time to time. You know, words, you can say the same thing using different words, and it just changes the intensity, the feeling of it, right? Like, we all know that. So, these people who go to school in journalism and English majors or whatever it is, so they deliberately incite a lot of these feelings, from the newspapers to the websites to the mainstream networks. Like I say, all of them, everybody does it. That's the whole point. But like I say, it's just crazy to the point that we're still so stuck on this. But I understand why. You know, I understand race is important. It helps keep us divided, right? And that's important for, you know, people who, you know, to keep tabs on things, for people who need to keep things in order. Because I think, like I say, I honestly feel like we're all more alike than we want to believe. I think the class thing separates us more than race does in anything. All right, will do. I will do. I'll make sure it is. I'll make sure it's loud. I guess I should actually turn this little thing up too. But yeah, I'll turn it up more. I don't know what I did though. Like something. I don't know. I don't even know what a fucking lumbar is. But over here trying to use fucking some fucking scientific terms I heard from a chiropractor, and she said, "Yeah, it's fucking lumbar. It's all out of whack." That's what it was. You know, I was cutting my grass and just fucked up my L3. That's what happened. I'm gonna just pop it back in place. I don't know. Something in my back fucking hurts. Give me a second. Let me get the line open, and then we'll take some calls, y'all. Maybe. But like I say, what I want to know tonight, and again, you know, this is the den. You feel free to speak your piece. I want to know your views on racism. You know, me personally, like I said, I think it's dwindling. I think you have more access, more interaction now. When I'm talking about racism, because I know people are going to say, you know, there's different forms. There's the subtle, institutional, you know, whatever. And then I think you have that blatant, openly disrespectful shit. That's that shit I like. But, you know, that openly disrespectful shit. And, man, I guess depending on how, you know, that word associates things for you. I'm trying to figure out call this fucking number. That's weird. You know, you're gonna perceive it a certain way. I apologize for that. It's weird. I don't even use this fucking number, so I don't know how. That's what I call that. Alrighty. Give me just 1 second. Let's get the number up. Let me get my headphones on and let me cut the audio. Let me get the volume up in this thing. I think it's the right way. Maybe. Is that louder? Let me know if that's louder, if it's too loud. Or maybe I need to turn it down a little bit. Make sure I get a good level of volume here. So that way y'all can see it a little bit better. Right there? That's good? Alright, cool. Yeah, and you know what? You know what's really crazy, Coach, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, I have a playlist of Athlete X videos that I know I need to be, and I yeah. Not that, I mean, you know where I'm going with that from there. Cool, good. All right, excellent. Yeah, like I got a playlist full of them because I know I have some tight tendons or some shits that need to be, I definitely need to loosen up. But I'm gonna get on that shit. Like, I gotta get on that shit because this is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I didn't even do anything. I haven't even done anything strenuous today. Like, nothing. Okay. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
It's Dan, bro.
Dan, the motherfucking man with the plan. What's on your mind this evening, Mr. Dan? How do you feel about racism, sir?
It definitely exists. Yeah, racism absolutely exists. I think it's an inherent human trait to believe people are differently based on how they look. Yeah. I think it might be survival instinct. I mean, when you have different animals, the way animals look, they have to stay away from them or they might get closer to them. It was evolutionary tactics, how some butterflies and insects in general look like foliage and trees and branches to hide from either predators or to sneak up on other prey. So that's only natural, but that's getting way far and beyond the subject. So let me get off that. But yeah, racism exists. And I've experienced both types. I think I was 7 years old, and I was at a mall in D.C. with my mom and brothers, and like I had to run up and catch my mom because mom's like, "You better hurry up, Danny, get your ass out of the store." You know, moms. And I'm running. I accidentally bumped into this older white woman. She looked like she's, on her deathbed anyway. She's just standing up at the point. And yeah, I'm mean. I don't care anymore. And I'll tell you why. So I walked by and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, excuse me." And she's like, "My God, you Negro." And I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, oh. And then I run to my mom and tell my mom, I have mom like, "Where the fuck she at? Where that bitch?" My mom about to go ham, but somehow her old ass disappeared. So, I guess she had some ninjutsu powers or some shit. I don't know. She's dead now, so whatever. So it's only like a handful of incidents, like that one, and maybe like some kid in middle school said, "Hey, fried chicken," because I was black. I mean, he was right, but I was mad about that. Yeah. But more of the racism I experienced, at least from white people, it was more of the implied, like the lower expectations racism, the bigotry of low expectations. Yes. Which I think is way more dangerous, honestly. I'd rather you show me who you are up front. If I see one of these neo-Nazi alt-right types, marching down the street, doing the Heil Hitler signal, cool, I'm going to stay away from you. Because I already know who you are. Just leave me alone. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not worried about the Klan, honestly. Yeah. I'm not. They are dismantled for the most part. They're very small. I'm not worried about them firebombing churches and shit. We got enough fools firebombing houses and shooting up the neighborhoods. The Klan can retire.
Their job is done.
I mean, yeah. And this, I'm just speaking on black people. And look, by the way, since there are some new people listening, Honcho and Lynn, some cracker run his mouth about Negroes. I am black. I am African American. I am a Negro. I am ADOS. I'm all of that. So before y'all start, popping up like, "Oh, we let this white motherfucker talk to you." No, I'm a nigga. So there you go. Let's get that out the way.
Yeah, you got to clarify because people definitely don't believe it. They definitely believe otherwise.
Yeah. I have nothing to justify anymore. I am who I am. But yeah, like the bigotry of lowered expectations. Like I said, I'd rather you show me who you are up front. Then I have a conversation with you, and I experienced this a lot, really, in the Navy, the lowered expectations thing. Because like you'd have people you work with, and like I like hanging out with like some of the country white kids from like the middle of America because they're up front. Like I didn't know black people did this, I didn't know black people did that, because they never met black people.
Correct.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, man, shout out to girls." I don't like hanging out with those guys because they're just up front about their shit. It's like some of these white kids I used to work with that like try to be cool with the niggas and shit like that, but let some go down, he's ratting on all you people. I've seen that too. So I still clear those dickheads. I'd rather hang out with the guys who don't know any better because, they never met black people or the only black people met on TV. Not the guys who try to do that slang when they talk to you. I had one guy like that, man. I was like, "Bro, look, just talk to me like a man, bro. Yeah. Fuck all this, know what I'm saying shit. Fuck all that." I could go into that guy like 30 minutes long, but I'm gonna leave that alone because I never see him again. That low expectations is what angers me more, you know.
I agree.
But speaking of racism and discrimination, actually, I just read a report before I called in. Apparently, a lot of these Ivy League universities have been discriminating against Asian students. A lot of the families sued, and the DOJ did a report on it. Apparently, Asian and white students were discriminated against, and they lean more towards black students. So interesting, you know. So look, racism isn't just white people against black people. Racism is racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism. It's just racism.
Correct.
Now they try to change the definition, but the definition I read years ago, it's basically like having certain bigoted opinions of people based on their race. Doesn't matter who you are. Because lately, look, white people are getting murdered out here, bro. And I do mean that in literal sense. Now, I don't know if there's racism behind that, but I mean the 5-year-old, Cannon Hennett, shot in the face by his neighbor. There's that white girl who said all lives matter. Jennifer, I forget her name, but in Indiana, she's dead. She got killed by one of those BLM peoples.
That's crazy.
So, you know, look, bro, I just think everyone's an asshole personally, my personal opinion. Race is kind of a secondary thing. But you know what? My experience of racism, the people who were racist against me most weren't white people. It was black people.
Speak on it.
Man, look, okay, all right. So, from the way I talk, as Lottie, I can tell, you know, I've heard things like Uncle Tom, House Nigger, Coon. This is before, I was actually pro-black when they were calling me this in the Navy in college. You know, just from the way I talk and wearing a belt and not sagging my pants, I always felt out of place doing that because I wasn't raised to do that. My parents didn't raise me like that. My parents were dysfunctional as fuck. Used to beat the fuck out of each other. But they kept the job for as long as possible. They got us out the hood. My dad worked at least 15, 20 years at the shipyards. My mother became an RN. She used to hustle on the side selling flea markets, all that stuff, bro. She would hustle. And they got us out the projects. And I guess that's why I never let my race really get in the way of trying to get things done. I mean, I was still, you know, about that at one point, but when I really started measuring up the incidents I've had in my life, you know, between white people and my own race, I always felt uncomfortable around my own people because of certain actions a lot of people have done against me. Now, I don't want to generalize because that's fucked up, and that is kind of racist in of itself, making broad expectations based on your small interactions with a group of people. But sometimes it's safer. I mean, didn't Jesse Jackson say in the 80s he'd feel more comfortable walking down the street if he sees a white person behind him? I think he said that. I think he said that. Yeah. But there's something else I want to say. So as I'm more conservative now after, you know, some years on the left side watching Young Turks and all that. There is definitely, and the conservative side, there is definitely a group that's like very white power, and I don't fuck with them either. I mean, I'm black. I'm not trying to fuck with them dudes, bro.
Correct.
Fuck that shit. But at the same time, I can't cape for BLM.
Correct. I gotta
not at all.
I think. Yeah. Did you see what had happened in Chicago with the BLM? The black man that actually came out was like, man, but basically run them motherfuckers up out of there. And they was like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And they was like, y'all don't come out here when the real shit is happening, when these kids are getting killed, when the real shit is happening around here, y'all don't never show up. Y'all want to come over here and talk about some damn cops and, you know, get the fuck out of here. They told them, like, it was a group of them, you know, march down the street. They was like, get the fuck out of here, a bunch of fucking bozos and shit like that. So
it's a bunch of goofy ass white liberals speaking for the Negro. That's that low expectation shit that we were just talking about.
Exactly. You can't do it. Let me do it for you.
And then you have these radicalized BLM supporters, and a lot of these guys came from decent neighborhoods. That's the thing that kills me. It's like the people who come from the neighborhood are like, get the fuck out of here. You know, and a lot of the media has been shifted on this. You have certain networks who only publish certain stories, and then they lie about a lot of these stories. Uh, and it's just like half the time I turn on TV, it's like, we support Black Lives Matter. So you support a Marxist organization that wants to demolish the nuclear family. Look, I'm for gay rights, but when gay rights come at the cost of children, like in the case of transgendering kids who haven't hit puberty yet, but you want to give them puberty-altering drugs, I'm not for that. If you're an adult, you go fuck that other adult in whatever place. I'm not for PDA. I don't like these gay pride parades where you have 80-year-old men butt-ass naked and leather straps and dildos. I'm not for that.
I agree.
I mean, that's San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm. But that's like every day in San Francisco.
You
don't even need a parade for that in San Francisco. That's just what they do. They just walk around like that.
Yeah, that didn't have the needles and the feces line everywhere, all the homeless people. Pelosi did a great job. Nancy Pelosi, yes. That's her district, the Tenderloin district. It's fucking insane. I'm not making none of this shit up, bro. But I ain't trying to keep you all night, man. But yes, racism does exist, and I think it's a defensive mechanism, you know.
I can agree with that.
I'm sorry?
I say the defense mechanism, I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I don't blame someone for being defensive if I walk an elevator with them, even though I might have polo and a tucked-in shirt. Look, if you want to hold your purse, old lady, I don't give a shit. Look, as long as there's a camera in here so you can't scream rape. And that's not against white women. That's against women in general. Yeah. I've had a harassment charge against me by some broad in the Navy. Never touched her, never harassed her, nothing. I just told her, just please work, and I showed her. So there's so many issues going on right now, because not only do you have these people throwing all these fake racist claims around when there might be actual racism that happens, but no one wants to hear it anymore because y'all done burned the word to the ground. Mm-hmm. And then you have some of these females out here. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
I'm saying, but you know what I was just thinking? Honestly, racism is that's so 2019. Maskism is in now. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing. We're judging people on masks this year. This is where we're at now. I'm not thinking people are attacking people for wearing masks or not wearing masks. It's on both sides.
Yeah.
Racism is dead. Maskism is in. This is where we are now.
Now, the only stipulation to that, Honcho, and you got a very good point there, sir, is if you are protesting Black Lives Matter, then it don't matter mask or not. You can twerk in the middle of the streets. Oh. I've seen videos of it. It's fine. That's absolutely fine. These politicians and some of these doctors are like, oh, no, that's fine to do that. No, we're fine with this protest, but it's other protests that's not allowed. Yeah. And I've said this before. Explain to me how the virus differentiates from a Black Lives Matter protest or open our businesses back so we can live protest. We're trying to be in unemployment. Explain the I guess the virus is racist, I guess. I don't know.
It's a social justice virus. You know.
You said it.
You know, it has to do what a virus must do, but it also respects, it has social justice awareness. So it's like, I'm going to do my virus thing, but I see you guys over there for the progress of society. I'm not going to fuck with y'all. But when you go back home, when you go to a restaurant, it's on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I guess that's how it works or something. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know.
Yo, you're talking for equality. You're funny, bro. Yo, shout out to Bad Bougie, man. Oh man, girl, you wild for that one.
And the last crazy thing too, though, with this stuff that's going on with the maskism. But did you see what it was like? I think she was like a 15-year-old girl that took that picture at school, and instead of fixing the issue that they're having at school, they suspended her. And then I guess once it got out that she got suspended, then they reinstated her, or they dismissed the suspension or whatever. So. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole whistleblower thing. See, whistleblowers are protected. Mm-hmm. Like if you had like people back in when Enron was a thing, when people were exposing Enron, like, hey, these guys are making all this shit up. These numbers are fake. Mm-hmm. You cannot prosecute whistleblowers. I think that should extend to other things. Like if you have legitimate proof of, hey, this is bullshit, then you should be protected.
Yeah. I don't agree. Because, I mean, honestly, because in the society that we live in and the way people generally tend to operate, depending on what the situation is, it takes nuts to be a whistleblower. Like to go against the grain, especially if you're a part of an organization that's doing things one way. Most people are afraid to upset the apple cart. So,
right,
something like that. I think that needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, and now, and since I'm black, now the black people's biggest problem is I don't think it's racism. Well, it's about to be in a few years because this entire past few months has just fucked up racial relations, in my humble opinion. So maybe there'll be a very alt-right that'll pop up in a few years, because I believe the pendulum swings. This super liberal thing might get a super conservative swing. And I don't mean people wearing MAGA hats. I mean people, radicalized white kids marching down the street. Because you got radicalized black kids marching down the street.
Exactly.
That's the pendulum swinging. And either way, I don't care anymore. I'm staying in my house to go to work. I'll graduate college by then. I'll have my gun on me. So run up on me, I'm shooting. I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, that's the mentality now, because you're just seeing all the craziness going on. You don't know who for, you don't know who against you. Protect you and yours. You know what I'm saying? Try to have the best quality of life you can. But honestly, everything around, I really feel like things are crumbling. I don't see it. I'm not saying this is going to turn into a fucking third world country next year, but
we'll see who gets elected.
I think I think that matters too. But I think it's going to be on a downhill slope. I don't see. I don't see Superman coming in to save the day. So, it is what it is. Just like I say, just protect you and yours. That's all you can do. It's gonna get wild soon.
Yeah, man, that's just the thing, man. You can't rely on one person to get elected to change everything, though. Yeah. I know a lot of these MAGA hat wearing dudes like Trump is Superman and he's God, Lord, King. I'm like, bruh, that nigga's a human being. Just calm down, okay? Yeah. Now, I admit, the thing is, I'm not going to blame him for the issues in this country, because he was a private individual. He's not been in politics for 30 years, correct, 40, 50 years, like some other people that are running for election right now. And just, I ain't blaming him for everything. Do I think he's a god? No. I do agree with a lot of stuff he's done, yes. Am I 100% behind him on certain things? No. And that's just my opinion. But vote for who you're going to vote for. But my last thing I want to say, when it comes to Black America and the issues that we're facing, I recommend listening to people like Thomas Sowell,
yes,
Walter Williams, okay, Coleman Hughes,
yes.
Who else? A few other guys. Just if you click on some of those videos on YouTube, you'll be linked to a lot of people who I think break down some of the issues we need to be concerned about, like our disintegrated family, because at this point it's 75-80% single-parent households. You have 4 or 5% of the population, and that's Black men committing about 50% of the violent crime. And then someone says that's the ongoing legacy of slavery. But the thing is, the slaves that had just were freed, and the people during the Jim Crow era who dealt with the Tulsa bombing, Black Wall Street, they rebuilt. They came back stronger. They were outdoing white people in terms of family structure, in terms of economic structure. But something happened in the 60s that kind of threw a wrench in all that. And I'm going to leave it on that note,
You don't
and I'm going to stop there.
You don't say.
Some about free shit.
Well, now what we want now, more free shit. Looting is reparations. Have you heard? Did you know that?
Oh yeah. Oh, and slavery does still exist. Look in Africa and the Arabs enslaving the African people there. Slavery absolutely does still exist. Yeah. Right. Now, do you mean economic slavery, where working minimum wage for things like that? That's capitalism, and there are some things need to be fixed with capitalism. But the alternative these Marxists are offering, look at Venezuela. Look, the fact you need a stack of money to buy a loaf of bread. And if you own a business in Venezuela, if the government points on it and says, hey, we're going to take that, they'll take that. That's how Hugo Chavez was. Maduro now, while he's in Europe eating fine dining meals, people are starving. There's videos of him eating meals of that Salt Bay dude. He's sitting there doing a Salt Bay thing. His people are starving in Venezuela. Fuck this dude. That's what you're going to get. And any people who've emigrated from some of these countries, they'll say the same shit like, bro, what are y'all talking about? I left that country because I didn't want to deal with what y'all trying to do here.
Exactly.
And, of course, China. Yes, China. China's its own animal in itself. I'm going to stop there because that'll be an hour discussion. I feel I've been on it a bit long myself, so I don't want to take up your time, man.
China's an interesting thing. We may have a dead on China soon before China owns.
That shit's going to get taken down, bro. Yeah, are you sure they're done already?
Yeah, look. We have to see. We might have to be a Discord conversation. We'll have to see. And on that China conversation, but there's some interesting things happening with that too. Okay.
But yeah, Badaboot, save your money. She's absolutely right, man. You save your money, bro. Just don't be so materialistic, because a lot of our culture is based on materialism.
Exactly.
And I'm talking about us as black people. We got to get away from this materialistic bullshit, man.
But that goes back to somebody's validation and self-worth. They need it through material. Like I need this name brand, ridiculous looking orthopedic shoe to make me feel like I'm worth something. You know, I need this fucking $2,000 shirt to make me feel like I'm fucking worth. Like that shit, I don't know. That shit ain't never registered to me. Like I'd feel like an asshole. Like I'd feel like a real live asshole wearing several $1,000s worth of attire in one outfit. Like,
yeah, man.
I don't know.
My parents didn't make us wear expensive shit at school. I think the most my mom ever splurged was like a pair of Timbs, because back in the 90s, Timbs and shit, or lugs, lugs. But we didn't wear all them fly ass stutter jackets because motherfuckers get knocked out them shits, and some kids got shot over that shit in Virginia.
Yeah, because
never mind New York and California and Florida. Florida wild as shit, but my nephew live in Florida. I'm always concerned for him, especially in Palm Beach. Them crowd, well, motherfuckers, fuck that.
Yeah. I'm
and luckily he's been raised the same way. He ain't all materialistic. I'm glad none of my family, well, at least my my niece nephews are materialistic. I'm glad they're not like that. But then again, two of them are sick, so they don't know nothing about that yet. I'm sorry, you were speaking, Honcho. I don't want to hold you up. My
no. I was looking at the little conversation taking place between these ladies in the chat. And Bad Booze is a terrible person.
But man, that's all I got, man. Look, I can't say the black community. Look, you can do the each one teach one, and that's cool and all that. And I've talked to certain people and done about that, and they've made some good points about trying to, go back and help your community. But I've tried to do that in small factors in the military. I've donated time to various charities while I was in the military. And if this COVID thing calms down, we'll see how that goes. I want to get back into doing charities. Well, like charity events, donating time, helping build stuff, I renovated I did some landscaping on the school one time. That was in a poor black neighborhood, one I actually went to as a kid. So I was like, damn, I went here. It was crazy. So I've done a bit to get back to the community, but I'm not going to risk my life over it. I'd say that shit.
No, I definitely would advise you not to do that.
Yeah, donate to the Negro College Fund, I guess. It is do what you got to do.
No, why is nobody offended when anybody says that? Well, why does nobody get mad about the United Negro College Fund? But if you call somebody a Negro, or if somebody calls somebody else a Negro, they would be highly upset about that.
Or the NAACP, the colored people, the advancement of colored people,
Yeah, we need to change that. The National, National Association of the Advancement of People of Color. We got to POC it. So when you say people of color, it's okay. Colored people, that's fucking offensive. I'm offended. I can't believe people say such things. But people of color, hey, I'm cool. That's all. Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, me, POC, all that. It's fucking so fucking stupid. We live in a real stupid time right now. I don't understand it, but this is where we are. This is where we are, 2020. I wanted flying cars. And we're like we're going to war with semantics in this society. That's where we're at. Like, come on, man. But that's a bit.
Man, bro. It just matters who says the colored person or the N word or whatever. Because if it's like white liberal, they can pop up on Twitter all they want. They have 4 black friends. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm done, bro. Have a good night, Honcho. I'm gonna leave it alone. I've been on the phone too long. I hope you have a safe weekend. I'm gonna just do what I need to do and see some family. That's all I'm gonna do.
Absolutely. Well, Dan the man, hey. Any conversation, never too long, Mr. Dan. I appreciate you calling in and getting the party started this evening.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Y'all be safe, man.
All right.
Bad and Bougie, you funny as shit. You the one.
Yes.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
All right, you too, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bad and Bougie, that's the thing. Like, that's the term. Colored people get mad. But POC is a thing, and that's totally acceptable, right? And the POC thing is weird to me too, right? And this is not picking on anybody in particular because I don't know who got to choose it. But it was like, when it was colored people, y'all know exactly who the fuck they was talking about. Y'all know exactly who they were talking about. POC, everybody gets a POC ticket to the party, right? Everybody's like fucking with the POC thing. Like that's like cool. I guess CP, colored people, that's not cool. You don't got enough like letters for your fucking acronym, right? So I get maybe that's what it is. God damn, I don't know what this fucking is for, like, fucking, I don't know. But anyway, but yeah. So Dan said some real interesting things. He talked about it being a defense mechanism, and I could definitely see that. Like, I think, naturally, if you were to go in a room and you had, say, an even number of white, black, Asian, Hispanic, people of all groups there, you walk in, what do you think is going to happen? Well, normally people are going to tend to gravitate towards their group. Ladylicious would probably gravitate towards the black people, but most people would gravitate towards their group. And so, with that being said, like, that's why I say I don't know, man. I've been working on this thing of trying not to get mad at people or upset with people or blame people, even though, accountability is a thing, right? But I think it's like once you've learned something, then you got to start holding people accountable. If you just don't know, you don't fucking know, right? So I guess you got to try to make it your job to educate people too if you're going to operate like this. But most people don't want to do that. Most people just want to be able to call other people stupid or idiots and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's any merit in that. Like, if progress is going to be made, you have to educate. Like, it's just, you have to make them understand or try to help them understand, why you feel the way you do or why you disagree with it. And, because that's where we are right now, like, in this society. Nobody's really trying to say, well, this is why I feel this. It's just, you're stupid, you're a fucking idiot, you're dumb, a bunch of name calling. Like, we what is it? Most of the countries are like a 7th, 8th grade education. I might be doing too much. It might be like a 5th grade reading level. I forgot what it is. But shit, we've gotten to the point where, the conversation devolved into fucking a 5th grade argument. You know what I mean? It's just like, fucking cool. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I like, everybody else has to see it because you got to understand. There's no going back. There's not going to be any going back. Like, once these things are put into play. And again, I believe everybody should have an expectation of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you believe or whatever. Like, I think that, you should be able to walk down the street without being harassed or, I don't know. No, I don't want to say that. You should be able to be harassed. People are people. But, like, you should be able to, live and fucking work and do all that other stuff, like, freely. Now, I think when we start talking about specific types of employment, we're going to have some nuance. But, like, I think people should be treated fairly. Like, whether I agree with somebody's lifestyle or not, like, I don't think that they should have to suffer. Not in this country. You shouldn't have to suffer for existing. Even if it's shit you chose, which is what a lot of people are doing now, shit that they chose. They feel like they're oppressed for choosing some shit, and then they want, some type of, again, validation for choosing the shit that they chose. Race, and again, it's not just talking about, white on black, black on white. There's some other good categories on Pornhub too. But when I'm talking about race, we're saying that there's an issue in this country that people have, and again, like, I think a lot of people in America, like, the first thing they go to is race. Like, it helps them maybe understand things, or maybe they compartmentalize things that way. I don't know. But Just Sarah, the lovely Miss Just Sarah, I appreciate the love. Broderick is here, and that's not a good thing. But good evening, Mr. Broderick. Tomorrow,
Honcho, the main Sancho shirts on sale now, eyes. Tomorrow is shirtless Honcho popcorn eyes. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping. Sparkling heart, sparkling heart, sparkling heart.
Nobody celebrate Heidi's here. It's probably time to end the show. But what if Just Sarah is really Heidi? Right? But like I said, it's a situation where none of this shit fucking matters, right? And I get it. Like, people who want the government to pay, deal, whatever. Like, I get it. The government benefited. You feel like, that should be returned. Cool. Like, going out here and just making assumptions about people that, and then I think you got like two assumptions that are being made, and they're both wrong. So like whether assuming somebody is or isn't racist, right? Motherfuckers automatically assume, oh well, they're lefty, they're Democrat. There's no way they're racist. They're not happening. And then it's on the right side. Oh, everybody who feels is voting for Trump, they're a racist. They're this, that, and the third. And somebody shared a video too of the black guy going to the Trump rally. That was super fucking funny. When he went to, like, all the white people in the Trump line were all welcoming him, and then when he went to the white lady with the bike, he went over there to like the anti-Trump people. They were calling all kind of names and fucking insulting the shit out of him and shit. But the thing about it is, like, assuming anything about anybody is fucking stupid. But again, that's why I say it's just like I think we have to use these little, like, I don't want to say not symbolism, but we use these what's the word? Fuck, I can't think of it. But these things, these markers, right? Skin, this particular race is known to do these things. Like, I think all Hispanics have knives, right? So it's cool. But we use these markers. If somebody's tall, they're gonna do more damage because they're tall, and they don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen tall people get worked up. I've seen small people get worked up. I've seen all kind of different things. Like, and so I think we hinder ourselves by trying to do that. Now I know it's more convenient to do that type of shit, but I think we make ourselves a bit more ignorant. Every time we do judge someone, you make yourself more ignorant. Every time you are prejudiced against someone, you make yourself more ignorant. Now, if we're just talking about celebrities and we see them doing stupid shit from a distance, that's fine. But I'm talking about your personal interactions, like, because if it's somebody you don't know, you're not familiar with.
Happy birthday, cake party, popper, balloon, Heidi, hugging face, tiger face, tiger face, tiger face, tiger face.
Why should she be celebrated? I don't even know. It's hanging out in Dallas. Exactly. Because that's the problem. Like, it looks good to people, Well, they're in power. They got all the stuff. They're hoarding all the resources. I want some. I want to be able to point my finger and tell people what to do. What a lot of people don't realize, though, when it becomes a man, you got to take care of people. People don't think about that. They just see the person with the glory and the riches for themselves, and things like that. But like you were just talking about, but it was Maduro, or whatever, who was out there with the Salt Bay guy, or whatever. Taking care of your people. That's the main responsibility. What's the book? I don't know if y'all have ever read Leaders Eat Last, but like that's the thing. Like, you got to make sure your people are fed. Otherwise, you have no people to lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Like I say, it's actually, if you haven't read Leaders Eat Last, just check it out. At least the audio book. It's actually pretty cool. It's very, very interesting. But like I say, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to say like I've given up on society at this point. But I was talking to Big M in the Discord earlier, and I guess a thought that slips my mind is that, you got a lot of people who were 14 years old, you know what I'm saying, the last election took place, who were heavily influenced by celebrities, these famous people, whatever, who were, again, generally leaning in one particular direction. They've been filled with all of this, we got a call. Like I said, they've been filled with all this anti-Trump hate, but what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening? Hola, ¿cómo está? Yo, word, Shouty, what's happening?
No, this is Chemo Paco.
Okay.
I'm speaking in our native language.
Nigarachi?
Yeah.
Okay. Who that said that? Where they at? But hello, Miss Rashida. How are you? How are you doing this evening?
I'm better. Good.
Good. Okay, good. You sound to be in a jovial mood this evening. You know, and so that's
Yeah.
I like to hear happy Rashida.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's keep it that way because you like to start your bullshit.
I think I'm being falsely accused, but I don't think I've ever been a bullshit starter.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me take my wig off for a minute. I'm a little hot.
Okay, you gotta air that thing out.
Okay.
Whew.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So, how do you feel, Miss Rashida, about racism in America today?
How do I feel about it? I don't like being a target of it. It exists, but it's not. I don't consider it a stumbling block, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I need white people to get a job. I feel like I can go out there and do what I got to do on my own. I can get my money up and do my hustle like I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't stopping nothing. You know what I'm saying? But and it's not just white people that's racist. It's all racists that's racist. All of us.
Correct.
Because I know I'm a little racist too. You know what I'm saying? And I will admit that. You know, am I working on it? No, because I have to.
Here's the funny thing about that. I knew what the answer was going to be when you said, am I working on it? Like, I was 99% sure. You were going to say no. She's going to say no. But there was like this one little percent that was just holding out. Say, well, let's see. You know, you never know. Rashida be switching up sometimes. But, yeah, that's exactly what I expected. So that's... I'm sorry. Carry on. So everybody's racist, and you're a little bit racist. I'm a little bit racist. I admit that. But do you believe that black people can be racist?
Wait a minute. We have to call ourselves prejudiced because they say we black folks
can't be
racist.
Yeah, that's
I call myself prejudice.
So
like it really is something different. Okay, just to be correct for some people.
I'm gonna say niggas can be racist. I don't buy into that belief because this is my thing, right? Because you talk about racism, you can't be racist because you don't have a system in place. Well, then why the fuck is there a term systemic racism? Isn't that the system of racism? Like, isn't that the term you're really looking for? Like, we can't practice systemic racism. We can be racist.
I didn't say I agree with it. I just said that's what they say. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't want people coming at well, shit, you know that you're black, so you can't be racist, but you can be prejudiced. Like, I really give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said some pretty racist stuff in my day. So yeah.
So I'm open to that. Calling me crazy. It is what it is.
Okay. All right. So you said it doesn't hinder. You don't think it's a stumbling block, so you can do your own thing. All races are racist.
I said for me. I'm just saying for me.
Okay.
Now, I can't speak for other black people that have not gotten jobs because of the color of their skin, or they haven't gotten houses, or they've been discriminated against when it comes to interest rates and everything, because there was a lawsuit where they were giving black folks and the brown people higher interest rates when they were buying houses, even though they had the same credit worthiness as people that weren't of that race. So I can't speak for those people. You know what I'm saying? And they actually won the lawsuit and had to actually pay those people. So,
did they pay them, or were they just giving them their money back?
Yeah, but my mom actually got a check from that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot, but she did receive a check.
Yeah, Google sent me a thing about a class action lawsuit, said I can get $12. It's gonna cost me.
Well, you better get it. Shit, that's enough for a spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: they send one to multiple accounts, multiple groups. So maybe if I send one for each account that I got, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that might like add up something. You know, might get like $48 or some shit. Okay, so do you say you feel like all groups, you know, can be racist? Do you feel like there is racism at all groups?
Yeah.
You think Asian people experience racism in this country?
Yeah. Especially when the Wong flu went around and people didn't want to eat at Asian restaurants, but I still don't. I don't fuck with Chinese, Asian places almost. And yeah, they went through that shit. And then remember when 9/11 and then people didn't want to fuck with the Muslims. They was acting like they scared and yeah. So things happen and it affects people.
I think
remember the black chick with the bald head black chick with the lip ponytail and the big eyes. Remember she was saying talking about how when she was on the plane she was scared of the people, the Iraqi people or something.
The chick with the lip ponytail and the big eyes.
What's her goddamn name? Oh shit. She was dating Country Wayne. Yeah, what's his name? Shit. Jessica Hilarious. Wait.
Oh, Jess Hilarious?
Yeah, her.
Oh, she got that mouth.
She got a lot of backlash to that. Mm-hmm. What you say now?
I'll slap you back till the NY. John Trophy boom collision open mouth smile tears of joy.
Hey Sarah, how you doing?
That's wild. I didn't know just Hilarious and Country Wayne were ever a thing, so that's weird.
Yeah, they work recently.
I'm not really a big.
You know, he got about 8 kids.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Country Wayne is.
Hey, at least he out there. At least he out there on his hustle and his grind.
You're not mad at it. I'm not a lot of stuff not super funny to me. Like, I'm not knocking it. Like, he has some things that I have laughed at, but some of the stuff is just kind of, it is what it, like, I'm not knocking it. But if it's working and you getting on, like, keep doing your thing. I'm just not like
I support him because, first of all, he's a young black man out there trying to make it.
Yes, but he's wholesome.
And he's fine as hell. And he a little bit funny. He ain't that funny to me. I still be cracking up.
It's because you attracted. You think he look good, so the jokes are funnier. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So if he was ugly, would the jokes be as funny?
No.
That's terrible. At least you're honest about it.
It is what it is, though.
That's terrible. That's very unfortunate, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay. So here's my thing, right? So I think there's levels of racism. So like when other stuff happens, like when they get mad at the Muslims, they get mad at the Asians, it works for black people because then ain't nobody worried about niggas for like a little bit. But it only lasts for like 2 months. So you got to lose usually a little 2 month pass.
Yeah.
So you said you've had racism directed at you. How would you share an experience of racism that you've gone through?
Can you repeat that?
I said, could you like name an incident of racism that you've experienced?
Well, basically it was from the Chinese people just following you around the store. Like you're gonna steal something. You know what I'm saying? And this like when I was at Walmart, a white lady asked me was I paying with Link. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't ask the people in front of me that was non-black were they paying with Link. And I had my debit card out, and I'm like, bitch, is you trying to be funny, but I ain't say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to be careful. White women that work at Walmart can fight. You got to be careful.
She was a fat Caucasian white lady. Looked like she was young. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, if you see the fucking debit card in my hand now, don't look like a fucking Link card. Why the fuck you asking me? But that's my favorite Walmart, so I can't get put out of Walmart. So, I'm serious. I have had incidents in stores where I want to turn up, but I had to say, I'm like, this is my store now. If I turn up, they gonna ban me, and then I'm gonna have problems. So I got to put on white Rashida and just not pay attention to it. Not white Karen Rashida, just white Rashida.
That's white Rashida.
And then just act, like just look at her, give her that look like bitch, but just keep it moving.
Yeah, cause I'm gonna be honest, because store bans, they not like Facebook bans. 30 days, that's shit permanent. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
I know. Exactly.
Okay, so oh shit. So okay, and I can understand that. And again, like I said, I think all
but
races.
it was an incident. Now I almost turned up on this white man in the store now because he was in front of me and he was putting his stuff up there, right? And you know how you put the little divider, right?
Yeah.
And then you get ready to put your stuff up there, and then he said something. He's like, I'm not finished. I'm like, what the fuck this motherfucker think he's off to? But I was with my mama at this time, so I looked. I said, this motherfucker really don't know who he's fucking with, but it's my store at the same time. So I just let him go on do his thing, but I was looking for his ass outside because I was really gonna run into the store.
Run the man. Oh man, I be doing that though. I do little shit to be fucking with people. Like I be doing shit to act all offended. Like if I go in line, I make sure I put that down. I look at them crazy and put the little divider there, like I'm being judgmental.
You know what? I could do my own YouTube series where I be going in the store and when people be fucked with me, take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to. Everybody needs a YouTube channel. The more YouTube channels, the better because cable channels are terrible. So that way, you got plenty of good content.
No, that's evidence because I might fucking look. I don't want this shit caught on tape. I don't want. No.
Yeah, you're gonna be done something bad to somebody. You're gonna go viral.
Exactly. You're right. But people bring it on themselves though.
So I have a question, Ms. Rashida. Do you feel like people can be racist towards their own group?
No. I think what that is people just think you less black or less white or whatever. They just being fucking ignorant towards you. But racism involves you thinking you superior to another race and therefore you treating them accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Because of how you feel about your race compared to their race. So I don't think you can be racist. I might be wrong. I'm just giving you how I look at it. But I don't understand that this black, you're not black enough thing. Like, black comes in all forms. You know what I'm saying? There can be intelligent black people, there can be yellow black people. I mean, it's all up under one umbrella. And I don't like how the negative part of being black is, I don't want to say exploited, but it's another word I'm trying to think of. But if you don't meet that criteria, then you don't know what it is. Oh, like if you haven't struggled and then poor, then you don't know what it is to be black. Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah. Why is that? Because that's my thing. I almost feel, it's black folks that do it more than anybody else. We were talking about this last night. Like if you talk about something that is, you talk about something negative that is, in reference to maybe low income, or if you, and not even necessarily negatively, but if you're just bringing up something like, say, in reference to like low income or welfare or impoverished neighborhoods or things of that, like that is a correlation to that. And maybe you may say something that's not the most positive about it or whatever, or black people automatically associate with that. And it's like, nigga, I didn't even say nothing about no race. I didn't say anything. I just said, maybe about specific conditions, but because you didn't have been so trained to associate with the struggle, you know what I'm saying? The struggle is real. The saying that fucking creates this crazy belief in your mind. But anyway, and so, it's we do that shit the most. And then it's like, because I'm glad, because that's the point I want to bring. Because think about it.
That's bad. If somebody didn't grow up on welfare, food stamps, considered not having a black experience. Like, why are you trying to identify that as the black experience?
Exactly. Like think
You should
about
be glad.
Fresh Prince of
That
Bel
people
Air.
didn't grow up like this.
But think about
What?
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like, think about Carlton.
Right.
Honestly, and
Oh yeah, he got mistreated. He
Yeah.
got mistreated by other black people because he grew up. He didn't grow up in poverty.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And so, is that really associating with being black, or is that envy?
It's envy. That's how I feel about it. I think it's definite envy. Why do I have to know about eating a damn syrup sandwich to be black? That shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Like, and it's sad though.
But you don't hear other races in this country. It's a lot of poor people, but you don't hear other races talking out. Like, you don't hear Mexican people talking out. Where if you didn't grow up eating just beans and rice or whatever, then you don't know the Mexican experience. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? You don't hear them saying shit like that. So we gotta always try to identify, always talk about the struggle. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't never hear none of my Mexican friends arguing with each other about who swam across the river the fastest. They just be happy that they're here and they, doing their thing. So it's just like, I don't know why niggas always got to associate shit like that. It really is bad, but it's almost ingrained in us. I mean, it's in the music, it's in the, it's like in everything, man. So, and anybody who maybe get offended by me saying little things, they're just jokes. Nobody get upset. It's all jokes. Don't take me serious, all right? Take yourself serious. Don't take me serious. I'm just a guy on the internet saying crazy things. What Mexicans have the classism and culture? You looking at the wrong Mexicans. You looking at the wrong people, bad boys. You be looking at the wrong black folks the other day. Now you looking at the wrong Mexicans. Shit. But that's what I think about. My thing is just like, man, people have to stop the nonsense. Black people have to stop the nonsense. And I don't think that whole thing about talking white or anything is exclusive to the black community. But in other cultures, I think it's exclusive to, like I say, the more low income, the less educated. Like, in the black community, it's like, nigga, you can be doing all right for yourself. Motherfuckers will still, you could be doing well, and people will still give you shit for doing certain things. Like, what niggas, we don't eat that shit. We don't do this. We don't do that. Like, but then when you flip the script, if a white person says, well, you black people are eating the fried chicken, or like, people are getting mad. So like, that's why I say that's my thing. It's like, if you're not gonna get mad about it when one person, don't get mad about it when anybody says it. But if you're gonna get mad about it, I guess get mad when everybody says. I'd rather you just not get mad about the dumb shit, because it really don't change your life. Somebody says, look at this guy, all he does is eat fried chicken. If you don't eat fucking fried chicken every day, then why are you fucking mad? Like, let a motherfucker crack a joke or be dumb, whatever. It doesn't impact you until people just start bringing you a lot of KFC or something. Then you worry about it. But, I don't know. Have you ever had somebody be, maybe that's reverse racism. When you hate your own race. Could that be reverse racism? You see that, Miss Rashida? I think she done went MIA on us. Look. So here's my thing, right? And that could be the reverse racism. If when you're hating on yourself, because here's the other thing I wanted to segue, and I was actually going to ask her about was, like, you see these people who are of one race and they go out and date interracially, but yet they shit on their own race. Could that be reverse racism? Because I know we say there's no reverse racism, because that people say reverse racism, they'll just say, like when black people are being racist to white people. I mean, that is just racism. But like reverse racism, would it be like you being racist against your own race? Like, could that be it? Like, would that be A more proper definition? I don't know. Let's take this call and find out. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Bad and bougie.
Bad and bougie. How are you doing this evening, ma'am?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm sorry to hear about your dad.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm just getting old, so I'm gonna figure it all out. But I don't know. I have no idea. It does not feel good. But thank you for that. So, what's on your mind this evening, Miss Bad and Bougie? How do you feel about racism?
What made me call in was the conversation that you were just having with regard to that other cultures, such as like Mexicans, other races don't have that thing that we have going on as, black people. And, I'm from California, so it's really heavily diverse up here. So, a few of my best friends are Hispanic, and they definitely do struggle with the same issues that we struggle with. The ones that have been here generations and, have graduated college and, don't have the accent, definitely look down at the people that are like fresh over the border or first generation people. That definitely is an issue. They definitely have clashes there. They definitely do struggle with the same thing we do as far as the lighter skin having more of a, priority than the darker skin. So I don't think it's unique to just the black culture. I think that other races have the same type of, I call it self-hate, me, myself, that we do. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. As far as the racism thing, I struggle with that. I mean, I know that there is racism out there. However, I think it's more how you let it affect you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, I've gotten, I've lived in like predominantly, white areas most of my life. And so of course, you have the ignorant people that look at you a certain way, or want to know why you driving in this neighborhood. There's definitely racism going on, but I don't think that I've stopped enough to let it, affect my life or really get me. I just look at them as ignorant motherfuckers. Like I try not to get it. Like I expect certain things from certain people. So I guess when it's an expectation, then you don't let it affect you as much. I feel like the self-hate, the racism that I feel within my own culture upsets me more than saying a white person saying, oh, nigger, or whatever, they choose to say. I don't really let that get to me. And I do think sometimes, I think if you call it reverse racism, it can work to your advantage. I know throughout my career in working, I know that I've gotten several jobs because I was black and I had the education and I had the background. Like, for example, at my company, there's no other black women. There's no other black women at my level. And then at my last company, there was no black woman in management. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes they're like, okay, she is educated. She's black. We do need a black person because we have all white people here. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes you can have an advantage by being black and being on top of your game. And a lot of places you're going to walk into and they're going to be like, yeah, this is what we were looking for. Because if you look at it, most companies, they have a diversity clause where they get benefits for having, people of different cultures, there at their jobs. So sometimes, my husband also, he's the only black man in his company at his position too. So I think sometimes I remember when he was interviewing for the position, and he went into the office, he was like, I don't know, babe, it's nothing but white guys in there. And I'm like, I don't know, that might work to your advantage. And he was like, you think? I was like, yeah, it might work to your advantage because, the companies nowadays are looking to have diversity. So if you have the qualifications and they don't have, the diversity they need in their company, you might get the edge ahead because of that. So I feel at this day and age, we got to stop crying about certain stuff. And, racism for me is one of them.
I agree. Because I think people use it as a crutch and a distraction. Again, like I say, it's if you use that as an excuse, it works for everything. And I think so many people use that to keep them in their comfort zone, and then they can, well, I would have done this, but such and such was racist, so and so was racist. But in reality, it's like you said, how you perceive it, how you look at it. So I definitely 100% agree with what you said.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first moved into our first house, we left, I think I said this on your show before, but we left our garage open one night by accident, and we had went to go stay at a friend's house. And when we came home, somebody came in our garage and wrote nigger on the back of the garage. And, it was, I don't know, my ex-husband at the time, he got really upset. I didn't get so upset, but then it made all of the neighbors really look out for us, because they were like, that was horrible. I mean, this guy came over with paint, and he was like, I feel so embarrassed that somebody would do that to you. And he actually, painted it off our garage. And from then on, even when our friends would come over, our neighbors would be like, somebody was at your house today. They kind of felt bad and ashamed of what somebody in the neighborhood that would have done that, So I don't know if it's just me, but the racism that I've experienced hasn't really affected me, other than I just mostly laugh at them and just, just going about my way. The racism, when it comes down to the police, that upsets me more, because they have actual control over you. They can hold you. They can shoot you. So that racism is a little more disturbing. But just, somebody, saying, oh, where's your fried chicken or whatever, I don't really care about that.
Okay. That's crazy. Somebody coming to the garage. But definitely make you think twice. But again, like I say, the fact that the neighbors came out, I think honestly that there are more people that are good. I think more people kind of get lumped in, maybe because they don't go out and make these open statements about it. I'm sure they have opinions on things, but again, like you said, we generalize a lot, so we automatically say, oh, all these people are this, or because this one incident happened in the neighborhood, you can say, well, that whole neighborhood is racist. This incident happened, but people wouldn't talk about how, like you said, people started looking out for you and doing those things, because that's not news, and that's not the information people want to hear. Yeah, that's wild. Okay.
And then I have another situation, because my son actually, he has two biracial daughters. So, they're Hispanic and Black. And, I know that they've talked to me and told me that people, will ask them, well, which one are you? You can't be both, stuff like that. And they're little girls, so they don't really know how to answer stuff like that. And, so I think it's hard for kids coming up to understand, racism and stuff. But that's why I think it's very important for them to, be around both sides of the family. But they're fluent Spanish speakers. One looks more Hispanic, one looks a little more Black, but we just, when they say stuff about, little stuff people say or whatever, like one time when they were at their mom's side of the family birthday party, they asked her, one of them, well, I think they said a nigger. They said nappy hair. Why do you have nappy hair and she doesn't? So it's, it's a constant conversation that I think we have to have, but I just feel like it just doesn't affect me really. Like I said, it more upsets me, when people in control have that racism, like police, because those are the people that can actually kill you or hurt you or whatever. But just somebody driving down the street saying something crazy to me, I'm not even gonna really acknowledge it. I'm just keep it pushing.
Okay. I can agree with that. Absolutely. Okay. I don't know. I have no further questions. Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
No, I don't. Just take a hot jacuzzi with Do you have somebody to give you a hot oil massage?
No, nobody loves me.
Hennessy and some OD be fine.
Hennessy. I'm talking about some Henny and a Plan B. No, that's a little thing. When I get upstream, I end up laying on it for a little while. It tends to help from time to time, but so maybe that'll stretch some stuff out, loosen me up, because I don't know what it is. Like I said, it happened mid-afternoon, and I ain't been worth the fuck since. But I appreciate you. No, whoa. We ain't gonna use the old word, but I do appreciate the concern.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Miss Bougie, I appreciate you calling in. You have a good evening.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. T. Tyler, what's the motherfucking deal? It's been a while. Yeah, I gotta forget. Like I said, it's I don't know what it is, but it is definitely fucking with me. But yeah, I can see that. I can see those views. I'm gonna be honest though. That's I don't know. That's because about the back of the garage painting thing. That's different. From a distance elsewhere, or whatever. Coming on your property where you live, in your household. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that, and we'll have to talk about that in the Discord. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But okay, take a call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
This is the one and only my Honcho. How are you, my dear?
Miss Grace, how are you doing this evening, Miss Grace? It's good to hear from you.
I'm doing well. I meant to stay tuned yesterday, but Sarah convinced me to get back on my little diet, and I was juicing and doing all of that. And then last night I had my son go get me a sundae before he went to play in his band, and I passed out from a sugar coma all night long. So I'm back on my grind again today. But listen, I was reading what you wrote down below earlier today about if Black Lives Matter and Antifa, if they've helped. Mm-hmm. I personally can't see where they've helped. Mm-hmm. You mean because people today are comparing Black Lives Matter and Antifa to people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John, and Robert Kennedy from back in the day. Mm-hmm. And those people fought for our equal rights for housing, for schooling, taking any seat on the bus or public transportation, and all of those things. Today, these groups are using the excuse of fighting for the death of a black man killed or any black man killed by a white cop. Mm-hmm. You mean they have no love? You mean because, first of all, they're lesbians, so they have no love for the black man. And the next thing is, they said right on their website that they want to dismantle the Western family, of America. Like black families already have, a rate of over 70% of households without men in them. We're already all messed up as a whole in the community. We're all messed up as far as jobs go, housing and money and jail and crime and drugs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, as a result of it, because we don't have men in the household. And I only blame men partially, because some of these men turned out to be issues and have problems and things that you don't want those kind of men in the household. If he's a drug addict or he's not doing the right thing, he can cause more harm than good. You know what I mean? And so I grew up, in a neighborhood that they have like 50% of the families didn't have a father. So that's all I pretty knew, mostly that. And I told you that my kids, I had my kids grow up without a father. Then again, I was only just turned 15 when I had the first one, and then when I had the second one, I was 22, had it when I was 23, And right then and there, I did what I knew in the beginning, but then when I learned better, I did better. I said, I'm not going to have any more children without a man in the household. So therefore, I had to do one of two things. Either get a man in the house, marry him or whatever, or get my life together so that I can live the life that I want for my children and myself to live. And that's what I ended up doing. But again, what has Black Life and Antifa accomplished for us? They seem to have left a trail of destruction. You're in our neighborhoods, communities, no police. It's unsafe. They really don't care about us. It's okay, you know what I mean, for the children to get killed, whether it's black children or white children or even older people just killing each other. They make no noise. They don't give a damn about it. When Martin Luther King and them were fighting and things, it was for all of us. Equal rights for all of us. Now these young people are bringing back segregation. I was watching an interview with some old football player, Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker, yeah.
Yeah, Herschel Walker. He said, we need to quit listening to these young people. They don't know shit from chocolate. You mean? The older people. You mean? And we'll tell you, those of us that grew up at those times and those of us that grew up in the hood and grew up in some poverty and turned out to be successful and prosperous, ask us how it's done. We are the experts. Yeah, we didn't have to go and destroy everything. All through college and things, all of my degrees, I was usually one of the black people in the class. Years later, I tell people, I run into people, they go, a white person, oh, remember me? We went to Bridgewater State together. We were in the same class. And I'm looking at the white people like, I don't remember you. But I remember you. Yeah, because I was the only black one. I don't remember them at all. So these people are just destroying everything. And they're causing, and they're blaming Trump for the divide. Well, this divide started way back when. As soon as when he said, let's join hands to the Democrats, let's do this together, they said no. And when he did the State of the Union, and he talked about all of the accomplishments, or the little black girls that were murdered and sliced up, by those Mexican gang members, and what he's doing for them or giving them scholarships or whatever, they stood there with their arms folded. They're mad. We're not going to clap. We're not going to do anything. If I invite you over to me so that we can work together, and you fold your arms and say no, 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 it is you that is causing the divide. So I think he's finished playing nice. He tried playing nice. You know what I mean? And I knew when it was going to stop because I'm that way. I can be nice only but for so long. When people say I'm nice, I say I'm not always nice. Because after I try to be nice and you're still not nice to me, then I'm cutting you off. And I can get quite nasty. We're not playing nice anymore. It's going to be my way or the highway. That's it. And it's a mess, and it really saddens me what's going on today. The other thing is, I was talking with an older woman, a woman in her 80s the other day, and we talked about how they want people to take down the Confederate flags. We grew up with the Confederate flags and things. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Some people, are racist that have them. Some are not. But by them getting rid of all of these things, and people are not hanging their Confederate flags outside of their houses, you want to know what kind of people you're dealing with. Knowledge is power. Your car breaks down or something, you won't know which door to knock on for help. You might knock on the wrong door. But if there's a Confederate flag out there and your car breaks down, you might skip right over that house and say, they might not be racist, but they just might be. I'm going to skip right past that door and knock on a different door. Need no. You know what I mean? People are being really stupid about it. Just to have their way. The same people that are talking about that we needed to know our past in order to know where we're going, they're getting rid of our past, taking down the monuments, getting rid of everything. Whenever we were coming up and we watched the slave movie, or when I was going to college working on my bachelor's, they had roots parties. Those sorts of things made us angry and made us want to do better in our lives. If they're getting rid of all of these things, then there is no anger there, so nobody's going to want to do anything because they have no reference points. Not really, because they're not replacing it with anything else. They think math is racist.
Yeah.
It's pure retarded. It is. And they're not retarded making in fun of mentally retarded children. These are people that are acting like they don't know any better. And they should. They're acting retarded, and I'm just disgusted with them. But that's about it that I wanted to say. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Honcho?
These roots parties, how did that go down?
Roots parties, whoever had an apartment or in the dormitory and things like that we just cooked a bunch of food and got snacks and things. And when an episode was coming on, we all met it in a particular house. And we all sat and we watched it and we discussed it.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, just learning things because Alex Haley, I traced that guy. That took him 12 years. I know everything about roots. You know what I mean? I told you I went to the house down in Henning, Tennessee. You know what I mean? I went back to Senegal. I just didn't make it to the village of Jufaray because the roads were so bad and it was raining and things. You know what I mean? I didn't go see the statue there in Maryland. But see, I'm into all of that because I keep telling people because of my ancestors, I am. When I went to the Gude Island in Africa where they used to prepare the slaves and things, I didn't cry. Some people said, did you cry? No, I didn't cry. You know what I mean? I know what my ancestors went through. Yes, I felt badly, but I'm here now. I'm not going to sit there and cry. You know what I mean? And don't forget, my people are right from over there. You know what I mean? The Cape Verde Islands off the coast of West Africa. So I understand fully, you know what I mean, what happened to us and things like that. That no, I don't cry. You know what I mean? I just strive to do better and to teach my kids to do better. And now my granddaughter to do better or anybody that I run into to do better. You make people eat their words. When I was a young mother, would they think I was going to be some drug addict? You know what I mean? They thought my kid was going to be on special needs and we're going to have all these issues. Hell no. You know what I mean? I make people eat their words. If you tell me I'm wonderful and good, I might agree with you. But if you tell me I'm terrible and I'm bad, I'm not going to make it, I'm going to make you freaking eat your words. It's simple as that. Anybody. You know, racism, none of this thing is going to, like Rashida said, nothing's going to stop me from doing what I want to do in life. If I didn't do more with my life, I've done a lot with my life. But if I haven't done more, it's because I didn't feel like it, and that's all, point blank, period. You know, not because anybody was stopping me, because if anybody tries to stop me, I'll roll over a freaking whole room full of people like a steamroller. Nobody gets in my way. That's all to it. You know, you'll have to kill me. That's all to it. But, okay, well, I'm glad that I caught this den tonight. I was talking with Mr. Keith, and I said, I got to hang up. I'm going to go to sleep. And he goes, girl, you lying. You know what I mean? I saw the smoke around that campfire. You're gonna be kicking at the campfire the day.
Shout out to Mr. Keith. Man.
You know it. You know it.
Yeah, you know we gotta have our Miss Grace in the den, Mr. Keith. You know we know it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, he loves it. He thinks it's quite amusing. You know what I mean? This is entertainment. I love everybody in the den. Hey, everybody. Hey, my just Sarah. Okay? Well, I'm going to get, hey, Mike Coltrane. Hey, everybody. Hey, Rashida. Hey, everybody. You know, I always got to do my little shout-outs and things like that. Nice to see, what's it, T'Challa?
T'Challa.
Yeah, nice to back on here. Yeah, because I was trying to think of her name the other day, and I was going to have to pull up one of the old dens to look it up because I couldn't think of it. You know, but I'm going to get off this telephone so I can sit here and finish listening to all of you wonderful people.
All right. Well, Miss Grace, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, Honcho.
Bye-bye. You're welcome. Let me see. Let me take maybe like one more call. I'm going to do a little random rant at the end. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Misty.
Misty Dream Barbie Misty?
Yeah.
Are you calling from the penitentiary? Did you kill your stepmom?
No, I didn't kill her.
Oh, okay.
I let her live.
Okay, we hadn't heard from you in a while, so I was wondering. I didn't. I didn't
yeah.
Know. Okay.
She's not my stepmother. I really hate her guts, but I let her live because I figure living the way I had a bad childhood with my dad, so I figured that living with my dad and all his laws and things that he does is probably going to be punishment enough. So we're good. And I don't talk to my dad anymore. None of the three of us do. He lost all three of his kids, and he has lost his grandchildren. So he's really gotten himself. I know it's awful, but it's life. Sometimes you just can't make things be a certain way. But I was thinking about that lady that kept what's her name? Okay, oh goodness. Okay, the lady that's gonna be on there with Joe Biden, but whatever his name is. I still feel, this is my take on it. I know we're talking about like the racism thing. You know, racism, it's been going on. It's probably going to continue to go on. There's all types of forms of racism. You know, you might not like somebody gay. You might like this. I mean, you know, there's just all types of racism. Hell, people can be racist against pit bulls. You know, they hate them, and you know. So anyway, I'm not gonna say I'm over that. I'm completely not. I mean, it's horrible, but I was thinking about the meat and potatoes of the thing. Like, for example, the lady, I think he chose this particular lady. Well, I mean, she is pretty high strung in her talking and stuff. She, you know, she's a speaker, all right. But I think Joe Biden chose her, or whoever helped them choose her, was because I think they thought that he would have the better chance at winning by having someone that's a minority and maybe a female too at that. And because he needed something, you know, I mean, he was definitely in a boat that had some holes in the bottom of it with the water coming in. You know, he was sinking. I mean, you could tell there was nothing good coming from him. You know, and there's a lot of things he says that I don't like and I don't agree with. And now, as much as I hate to say this, I've gotten more comfortable with Donald Trump. I never thought I would be more comfortable with him. I always called him the celebrity host, you know, because he did that game show thing or whatever. But I've gotten more comfortable with him that there's nobody else to choose from. I mean, you got those two there, or you got Pence and Trump. I mean, hell, you ain't got really know which way to go. All four of them have all kinds of junk you could say about them. So I guess I would just stick with old Trump another 4 years since he's been in there. He hadn't gotten us killed so far. So that's my take on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, this is the same lady who said, you know, that he's in there with his little orange skin, his hair fluffing around like a little chicken, and you know, and so now you're telling me that by Biden deciding to go with Kamala Harris, that you think that you'd rather stick with Trump?
Yes, because I'm one of these kind of people that if I see something that I'm comfortable with, or I mean, I'm not going to say that there's not probably 1,000 million people that are probably better than Trump. I mean, who knows who all is out here in the United States, you know? But my thing is this. Joe has so many, I'm having echo for some reason. He has so many different things he says that I'm just not sure of, and then her, I'm not sure of. So I will probably stick with what I'm more comfortable with. I mean, we've had him for the last 4 years. I've put up with his behind. So what's another 4 years, you know, with him? I mean, I don't know. And then, see, you know, I have more to think about now, too, because I don't want wars and things like that really to break out. I mean, because my son, you know, he's been gone 9 months now. He is officially up there in Virginia in the Navy. I mean, he could be called to duty, deployment, whatever, and you know, I really want everything to stay, you know, okay or whatever. You know, I mean, I have, you know, it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm thinking as a mother, you know, you don't want your kid to have to be deployed or whatever, I guess, you know, but I mean, he will do whatever he has to do. You know, that's the oath he took, and you know, he said that when he did it, he said that he would fight for his country or whatever it called for. But, you know, as a mom, you still think, well, I don't want him to have to be deployed or whatever. And is he going to stay longer or whatever? But I don't think that Trump is just rushing out to go to war. I mean, you know, I don't know. But I just know this. If I have a blue jacket hanging in the closet and I've been wearing it for the last 4 years and I know it fits and it don't seem to be causing me any trouble, I'll just stick with that blue jacket than go get one that's too little for me.
Okay. Do you think that blue jacket get worn out, though, if you wear it too much?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, it might be doing stupid stuff. No. Hold on. The blue jacket's not going to wear out.
No.
At least not for the next 4 years. The blue jacket's Donald Trump. It's not going to wear out, at least for the not for the next 4 years. So it'll probably hang in there and stay the same. But if I go get a red one and the red one's too little and all this mess like that, and got to kind of make all kind of alterations, get to know it, and figure out where the pockets are and all that shit, it ain't worth it. You might as well just stick with what you know.
So I got a question, Miss Misty. Is the new coat not acceptable because it has black patches on it?
Do what now?
I said, is the new jacket not acceptable because it has black patches on it?
Oh, hell no. You know that it don't matter what if the blue one, I mean, we can sew some black patches on the blue one if we want to. Whatever we want to do. It don't have anything to do with that, with me, right? The race thing, that is nothing, that's important. With that, it's not even that. It's just, it's just, I don't know, it's just him, and then some other things that, I've got to find out some more things about her that I don't know, everything about her. I don't know her well enough. I'm going to say, I'm not going to know her personally, but, there's some things that they said she's against this, she wants that, and, things like that. And so you have to think, well, you're not looking at it with the black patches on it. You're looking at it like, what is this person going to be able to do for the country?
Well,
what part are they going to play?
She used to be a former Black Panther. Does that make you feel like that would hinder her judgment at all?
I didn't even know that. I don't care about it. All I'm thinking about is what can she do for the country. Okay. I'm not even thinking about her color. Joe could be black for all I care. It's just that he acts kind of weird, so I don't know. And then Trump is weird too, but I'm just saying that since I'm comfortable with my blue jacket, I guess I'll just stick with it,
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
And who knows? I may change my mind. She did have a history with that. Well,
I made that up. No, that's not true. So that way,
well, I was gonna say it didn't matter to me. So did Tupac's mama, but I still listen to Tupac.
Word. What is your favorite?
Tupac.
Tupac song, yes.
Let's see.
Love, James.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me think, because there's so many. I like Hail Mary, Dear Mama, All Eyes on Me. Let's see. And there's one more. I can't. There's a couple more. I can't think. I can't think of the names of them.
When you listen to them, do you like rap the words out with them?
Do I? Yeah.
You rap with songs, or you just listen to them?
No, sometimes you listen to something so much that you learn the words to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like back in elementary, you never thought it was penitentiary. It's just. That is just something that in the 90s when I was growing up as a teenager, we had Tupac, and we had, different, and we had different people. We had, Tupac was real popular, and so was, what is it, Jagged Edge? Yeah, Jagged Edge. And
Jagged
a lot
Edge. You like Jagged
Ready
Edge?
for the World. Yeah, Ready for the World. It was, all those, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. We learned something new about Misty every call.
Yeah, I like all different types of music. I'm not just the only thing I told you a long time ago. I don't like the country music with the fiddles. Mm-hmm. If I did listen to country music, it'd be more like Kane Brown. Some of his songs they're country, but yet they're more up to date, more whatever. I'm not with the fiddles and the banjos and stuff. I like more of a little bit more modern, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just whatever music I'm in the mood to listen to. R&B, a little rap, maybe, or maybe a little type of country, or maybe contemporary. I like a lot of contemporary Christian music too. So it just depends.
So, Misty, I have like a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
The Tupac thing.
Not mine.
Have you ever smoked weed, Misty?
No, not a day in my life have I ever tried it. Nope.
Like Tupac didn't influence you to want to smoke. You were never curious to smoke a little of the reefers?
No, because my mom scared me half to death. I always wanted to be a nurse, which I am a nurse. And my mother told me, she said, if you ever get any kind of charge, she'd say stuff like that and talk about. But she was like, if you ever get any kind of charge or anything like that, you would never be able to be a nurse. So don't ever do drugs, but people would be, like even in high school, like some of the younger ones or whatever would be around and they would try to offer you something, but I always said no thanks because I didn't smoke and it wasn't anything. It was just something I didn't find an interest to.
Okay.
I mean, I was never interested in what would it be like or whatever. Like, I just didn't. I can't really explain why, but I just never did. So
the day you decide to retire, I don't know what the rules are in Alabama, if y'all maybe have some type of medicinal or anything like that. Misty, when you retire and you're done with your nursing and you've looked back at all the people you've helped over your career and the lives you've saved, improved, and made better, I want you to reward yourself. I want you to go, if you got to don't get off a street corner, get it somewhere legally. If you got to go out of town, take a trip, whatever. And I want you to smoke your joint, Misty. And when you do decide to smoke that joint, I want you to call the den. I don't know how long it's going to be before you plan to retire, but the den will still be a thing forever.
yeah, but I wouldn't do that though. I wouldn't do that, Honcho. But it's not for me. It's the way people describe it, the way people describe how it makes them feel and stuff. That's just not something for me. So I would never. I'm not missing anything. I've never tried that. I have no interest in trying it. It's not something that I need nor want or anything else. So, I mean, it wouldn't matter where it was legal at. It's not something that I'm going to do. I could tell you. I'm going to die weedless, so,
I'm trying to tell you, trust me, it'll make your life better. Like, when you're older and, like, done with life, you got to party. Like, you've done everything. You passed. It's over with. You're retiring. Like, you get to party the rest of your life. Congratulations. So you got to, like, do all the stuff you didn't get to do when you were young. You'll like it, trust me.
I mean, I did enough stuff.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what? Name something wild that you did as a youth.
I mean, just different things. I mean, sneaking out of the house, taking my mom's truck, going to visit a guy, wrecking my mom's truck, bringing it home at 1 o'clock in the morning with a tow truck. Mama didn't even know I had left, and I wrecked her truck into 1,000 pieces. And so at parties when we were younger, dealing with not anything like, bad or whatever, but dealing with people that, like guys that I thought were really cute and fit, I mean, I've been to clubs, I've done all that stuff. That part's over, but I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm not interested in going back to, any kind of whatever. I had my time that I did all those things, and I had plenty of time. So, got drunk, fell down, stuff like that. I mean, just
fell down.
You've
been so under the influence of alcohol that you've fallen down.
I did, yeah, one time. Because it doesn't take very much for me because I don't drink, and so I haven't drank in like a long time. But the few times that I did drink, and I would feel that buzz or whatever, and then if I drank like maybe one more, I would, I actually fell down, yeah.
Now, Missy, I want to let you know.
And then my cousin laughed and laughed and laughed, and I laughed, and we all thought, I mean, it didn't hurt me until the next day when I realized that I had all these bruises on my knee, Then I'm like, dang, my leg is sore. What's wrong with me? And I remember that I had fell, But I mean, I had so many laughs, and I've had a really, up until now, and even past this, I've had a very good life. I've done the things that I want to do, and what I want to do when I retire is just travel.
Okay.
Go see some places, that, I haven't had a chance to see or whatever. But that's the biggest thing. Just low key and travel.
Well, that's a bit. Well, here's the deal, Miss Misty. We've reached our time limit for this evening. But
all right then.
When I was making this topic, I was sitting there when I said, you know what? I hope Miss Misty calls and shares her thoughts for this evening. I thought it was going to be highly improbable because I hadn't heard from you in a while. But you ended up calling and sharing your thoughts with us, and I appreciate you calling in this evening, Miss Misty.
All right. Well, take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay. You have a good
Bye.
evening. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right. We're gonna. Well, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've adjusted in certain way. Oh my God, this fucking thing is killing me. John, yes, I'm doing this to try to convince you to come to the Discord. Come join the Discord, John. Come join us on the dark side. My fucking shit is killing me. I fucks with y'all, did folk. Ed Honcho HTX. Y'all see the social medias, all the links you need. Description below. I'll be in the Discord here. I might have to go take bullshit, but remember some hot water, some Epsom salt, something. I don't fucking know. But I'll be in the Discord. So if you want to slide in the Discord, I want to chop it up. Again, ladies, I opened up the ladies' lounge in the Discord, so y'all have a private room. If you don't have access to the ladies' lounge and you want it, let me know. Same with the men's den room also. And I should have fixed it to where y'all have exclusive, access, so that way if ladies want to have y'all's private conversation, I can do that. Same with the fellas and everything else. But let me slide, man. I appreciate all of y'all for being here. I got to figure out what's going on. I fucking feel like my back is about to fall out. I'm gone, man. Y'all got to go home. I'm inviting y'all to the Discord. If you need a link, I'll try to post that thing after this. But y'all got to get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.